Why are you laughing?
You started it on one.
You started on one.
Do you hear music?
We
Yeah.
do.
Hey, welcome to Bourbon and Badges, the podcast. I'm Hound Dog, along with my cohorts, Slow and Rodnator. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Good,
doing
man.
good.
What's happening?
Man, season 5 is moving right along, huh?
Don't laugh at me, Hound Dog. I've got like 12 buttons got to push at one time.
Just for everybody wondering what we're laughing at, Slow said, particularly, I'm going to start the music on 3. Okay? On 3. We said, okay. He started it on 1. So,
That must be that new math or something. That he's
yeah,
got
3
going
is
on
1.
Well, hopefully it's going to work. We'll have that little dead space at the start of the show. All right, man. So here we are again, another
there.
episode.
Yep, another episode.
Heck
Another
yeah.
reason to drink.
I'll tell you what, it's glorious whenever you have a reason to drink some bourbon.
No,
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
Oh, yeah.
That is right.
What do we
Let's
got going
get right
today?
into it.
What do we got
Sir?
going today, Slow? Me and you got something, same thing, don't we?
Oh, yeah, man. Bulleit. I don't know another my bottle. Oh, you got
I
your
got it
bottle.
for
Get
both
it
of
down
us.
bottle.
Good deal.
I'll put it in front of his face too. There we go. Yep.
Let's decork this thing and see what we got going on. So we're drinking both tonight. Hound Dog, what are you drinking?
I am drinking out of my infinity bottle. I call it Buzz 2.
Can you tell everybody what an infinity bottle is?
Well, everything that I have drank since October the 16th of 2022,
That's a lot
I
of
have-
stuff.
yeah, I have poured an ounce and a half into this bottle, and every time if it gets filled up long about the neck, I drink it down and put more in it.
Oh,
Awesome.
Rodney, do you think that's something?
Yeah.
Meet Buzz 1.
That's Buzz 1.
That's Buzz 1.
This started with
okay.
the very original show back in season 1. And of course, it's like Hound Dog said, once it gets up, we drink it down. We got this and drink down here. And then we started this on 12/28/20. I
Okay,
think it was
so-
Hound Dog's idea.
So does that mean now, since Slow's Buzz 1, Hound Dog's Buzz 2, is this
Gonna have
guy
to be Buzz
going to
3.
be Buzz 3?
Yeah, you got to start you. Yeah, you
It's
gotta
not my
start
own
you.
damn infinity bottle. Okay, I get it.
Hound Dog,
Yeah.
why do we call it Buzz?
We call it Buzz because it's an infinity bottle. What does Buzz Lightyear say? To infinity and beyond.
Oh, nice. I like
That's where
it.
it comes the name Buzz.
Yeah.
Toy
That's how
Story.
we got Buzz.
Yeah,
Buzz
man.
Lightyear. Nice.
Education stuff right there.
That's
Hell
right,
yeah.
man.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
But, all right, so you want to jump right into this, try the bourbons because I'm a little thirsty. Slow, what do you think?
Yeah, let's
We'll,
get that out of the way. You got,
We'll
you got
rate
the,
this. Yeah,
the
I got all
info
the
on?
information. So this is the Bulleit Straight Bourbon. It is a 90 proof, 45 alcohol by volume. The mash bill is 68% corn, 28% rye, and 4% malted barley. Its color is a medium amber. And
I'd see ya.
Bulleit Bourbon.
I mean, you get that little, reflection right there, little.
Yeah.
I am. What is that?
That's pretty
It's
cool.
like
I
a
don't
ring
know.
light.
Oh yeah, from my lighting,
Oh, okay. Okay.
going all
You used to
disco on
be
you
a-
guys.
You used to be a sergeant too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I know stuff.
Yeah.
What's that shirt
All
that
right.
says, I drink bourbon, know stuff?
Yeah.
All right, in the nose there, Slow, you should be getting some equal amounts of vanilla and caramel and an orange zest overlay. A little bit of smoke, cherry, and oak.
I'm getting a lot of peppers. What I'm getting.
You getting a little pepper? All right, we'll throw it out there. Oh, enjoy spiciness, bounces off the sweet notes. But the nose is quite frank, straightforward with a little fuss, F-U-S-S.
Why can't be Frank?
I don't know. They
Can't
just
be
said that.
Scott or Mike or Hound Dog.
It says
Frank
Frank.
Hound Dog.
All right, let's palate this thing.
Well, Rodney ready to get this show going.
He
isn't
is
he?
ready to get it going down, man.
Yeah, I'm just staring at the thing. I mean, it's sitting here
He's
wondering
been
why I'm
sitting
not
there-
drinking it. Easy
Just
little
sitting there
guy.
patiently waiting.
Easy little
Yeah, I'm
guy.
getting on the nose. Yeah, I'm getting the little. You get the 90 proof on it. You get.
Yep.
I'm getting a little citrus maybe.
Okay. It's good, too.
Is it? You like
The
that?
28% rye. Is that a high rye, Reggie? Hound
Yeah, I
Dog?
believe it would be a high rye. Yeah.
That's not too bad for a high rye for me. What's the highest rye you've ever had?
100% rye.
Oh, so
that's,
100%
Whistle
is
Pig.
real high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Whistle Pig.
28% doesn't sound high. It kind of sounds Is that just as far as bourbons go?
Well, you know,
Well,
this
no.
smells. Go ahead, Rich.
Explain that to him there, Slow. How the rye and high rye stuff goes.
Okay,
it above
for it to be
10%
a
is high or something?
For it to be a bourbon, it has to be at least 51% corn. That's one of
Right.
the elements. So if
Right.
you got a high rye or you got a rye, that's nothing but rye. It's not a bourbon, it's a whiskey.
Right, but now this is 28% rye, but it's still. Oh, so in other words, this is a whiskey. Is that what you're telling me?
No, this is a bourbon because it's what's the corn ratio?
Well, the mash bill.
51%.
The mash bill was. I just read it. Where was it?
Yeah, if it's 51% or more, then it's
A
then it's a
68,
bourbon.
68% corn.
Yeah, so this is a bourbon.
Definitely a bourbon.
So 51 or more mash bill of corn, it's a bourbon. 50 or lower, it's a whiskey. Is that
Yeah,
what
so
you're saying?
what throws some people off is a high rye. That means that the rye is a second grain in the mash bill, but it doesn't exceed the corn ratio.
That's what I was missing.
Yeah,
Okay,
it still
so
makes
this
it a
is the
bourbon.
second ingredient. Okay, so that's a high rye because it's the second ingredient.
In a rye, your first ingredient's rye.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? It throws
Yep.
some people off
Yep.
because they say rye and high rye. High rye sounds like this has more rye than a rye.
High rye, I think, be over 50%. Like 75% would be a high rye. You know, just on a scale of 100%. But now I understand. So if it's the second ingredient, it's a high rye. If it's the first ingredient, it's a freaking rye.
Yes.
Correct.
Period. Right. I got you. See, I'm a quick. I picked this stuff
Man,
up quickly.
Man, you are Johnny on the
It's
spot.
that
Coordinator on the spot.
captainism of yours.
All right, let me get you back focused on the damn palate, you guys. You guys are out of control tonight.
That's
All
like
right,
Captain does. Captain keeps you focused. Boys, keep your eye on the ball.
He does.
Stay on task. Stay
Keep your
on
eye the
task.
whiskey.
All right, the palate. What do you got, Slow?
I should have got that,
Well, yeah, we
but I didn't.
90 proof right off the bat. It's definitely peppery.
I got the peppery. Yep.
I'm getting a little maybe citrus, maybe a little orange, maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe
Okay.
you put that in my brain when you said that about on the nose.
Right.
Vanilla
got,
with a slight finish on oak.
Slight fish. Okay. The what they put out is the sweet caramel opening quickly transform into a peppery oak bomb. So boom, you
Yeah,
nailed
there
it.
you go. Boom.
Man,
You
you
said
nailed that
peppery
one,
oak
Slow.
bomb. Yeah.
Now and it's not dry at all. It's a nice wet finish.
Yeah, they call it a creamy mouthful. So
Easy. It's a
YouTube,
family show there, Rod Taylor.
YouTube. This is Bulleit Bourbon. It wasn't my words. This is on their website. Creamy. Let me say that again. Creamy mouthful.
Now the Woodford Reserve says they have 200 tasting notes, so there's never a wrong tasting note. You know, no one's wrong when they give what they're tasting on this thing.
Well, look, just to follow up, the creamy mouthful is followed up by packs a burst of flavor. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, they have minor notes, cinnamon, ginger are also present. But you got it on the nose with that peppery oak.
Hey, and I tell you, we didn't plan this, and we should have came up with this in our pre-podcast meeting. We're going to talk about where we almost shot some people on the podcast tonight, and we're doing Bulleit. How cool is that?
How
What
appropriate.
about that?
Well, we're professionals.
Mhm. We can even do gun signs.
Yeah, we do have gun sounds.
We can do that.
Hey, SWAT,
Yep.
what's that? That's a handgun? What's that?
Hit the button. Hit the button.
Hit the button slow.
That's a
Hit the button.
Good
Making me-
gracious, man. There you go.
Welcome to Gastonia.
Okay. Finish. The bourbon's hard-fisted spiciness continues until the very end. Spice, pepper, oak dominant, with notes of butterscotch, mint, and cherry wavering in and out. That's on the finish.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. They still say they mentioned smoothness and creaminess again, but I'm not going to harp on that. Okay. The word creaminess seems to be all intertwined in the description of Bulleit,
But you're not going to harp on it, right?
but I'm not going to
The,
harp on the cream.
On the back end of that, though, after it lingers for a little bit, it goes a little tart.
You
I
can't
think.
say back end and creaminess at
And
the same thing. That's freaking ridiculous. What is wrong with you?
You know, people not only can hear us now, they can see us acting like 10 years old. 10-year-olds.
And that's the key. Our numerical age means nothing. It's our mental age, which is So
That is
yeah,
90 years of law enforcement experience we went through right there.
exactly.
You know, and that has gotten so many hours in trouble with because you have to have a sense of humor to be a cop because all the crap and
Yeah.
nasty stuff you see and all the bad
Yep.
stuff you had, all the carnage you got to deal with.
Yep. And that's the thing. That's we talked about on the last show or one before that with the body cameras. Now you can't. You don't have that outlet anymore. You know, you could be in a homicide scene, and sometimes people on the news, we talked about this too. You know, you see police officers on the news standing around a crime scene. They could be there for 3 or 4 hours, and all of a sudden they're talking about a story from the other day, and they're laughing or smiling about it. They're not smiling about the homicide. They're just trying to keep their mind off it for a second, and they're talking about something pleasant. You know,
exactly right. You got to detach yourself. If you can't do it physically, maybe mentally when you get that opportunity. And
but.
I've got to retell the baby story in the park again at some point.
Yeah.
But that's where, you know, we all see something good comes from something bad. We all start, laughing. And some lady who can't, somebody here who can't see us,
right,
loses her mind, thinks we're laughing over serious stuff, bad stuff.
Right. Right.
That's one you have to tell, so.
And that's the thing.
That's a good one.
And that's the thing you have to tell your troops before they all go out. Remember, you're always being recorded and you're always being watched. Just assume that.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so that's the Bulleit now. So what I'm interested in, if you don't mind, is I want to hear what the infinity bottle holds today. That's what I want to freaking hear, because I'm going to start my infinity bottle Buzz 3 next week. Next week,
ounce and a half everything you drink.
Buzz 3 next week, folks. Be here for it.
Hey, and now, Hound Dog, we can talk about the legs on these things too. The legs is the oily residue that as you swirl it around and you see the oil running back down. That's what's called the legs.
Did you say oil or oil? What'd you say?
Oil.
There you go.
Oil. Is that more than enough for you?
Well,
oil.
It does have a freaking eye in it, you know.
Gastonia native is all.
Oh, I know. ALL. Yeah. All right.
No, on my Buzz, do you want me to read all this stuff to you, or you just want me?
How many? Yeah, just real quick. How many you got in there?
Probably 20 different.
Yeah, it's probably about 24, 25 different ones.
Holy moly.
Yeah, we'll just take you where there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch
of 1 hour
stuff.
show.
Anything from Elmer T. Lee to Blanton's to Weller to Elvis Bourbon to Sazerac Rye, just all kind of stuff. Buffalo Trace.
Wow. Do you have it in a glass yet? What color is it?
Yeah, it's kind of got a nice little darker amber color to it.
Okay.
And here's the deal, Rodinator. When we started Buzz 1, as it started to grow, it stayed a constant 100 and 107 proof, regardless of what we put in it.
Yeah, and this one, I proofed it before while we were talking about it, and it proofed at 100 proof. And
just for some reason.
Nice.
And probably the majority of stuff we do is 80, 90 proof. I think majority probably 90 proof stuff.
Yeah, it's between 80 and 90. So for it to get up to 100, you might have thrown some turpentine in there or something, huh?
Yeah, it's got a few high proof ones in there.
Yeah.
But it's got a smooth, very smooth. It's got a sweet taste right off the bat. It's sweet that rolls into a oak, kind of oaky taste, and on slow, like I say, on the back end, it don't finish dry. It finishes real nice and smooth, and it's really good. I wish I could bottle it and sell it.
Now, when I finish this pour here, I'm going to.
You want to Buzz one?
Drink from Buzz as well.
Okay.
So, Ron, let's rate this right quick. Would you like to do that?
Yeah. Oh, price point for people, $30. Bulleit, $30. So for me, I forgot how much I did enjoy it. It's a little bit higher rye than I'm used to, but for me, with the price point and for my tasting tonight, I'm going to give it a 7. So I'm going to make it a daily drinker for me.
Daily drinker.
7. Yep.
I like it. I'm not much of a rye fan. I do like it. I think it'd be a great mixer if you wanted to do something and put spice in it, whatever you're mixing it with.
Right.
As far as daily drinker, I would drink it if you had it, but I don't think I'd buy it myself for daily drinker, so I'm going to give it a 6.
6. Okay.
6.
Ends up at 6.5.
Do you have anything to weigh in on the Bulleit? You've had it, I'm sure, plenty of times.
Yeah, I've had it a few times, and it's the peppery taste is what gets me. I'm the wheated bourbon
Sweet wheat boy.
guy. Sweet wheat. I like the sweetness of the wheat, but if I was going to rate it, and I don't have it in front of me, I would probably give it somewhere around a 5.
5.
But we can't count mine because I didn't I didn't
Yeah,
sample.
you're
it tonight.
sweet. I always worked out. And I want to know where you're going to fall in, Rod. You can tell us, Rod Nader, where you fall in on the category. You have sweet, spice, and oak. It's pretty much your three basic baselines that these bourbons go off of.
Right, I got you.
Reggie's a sweet wheat. I'm down and dirty. The leather oaky barrel like a Knob Creek is my go-to. I love Knob Creek.
Knob Creek, okay.
Buck, our beloved Buck, was the rye guy. He loved rye.
Wow, okay.
And we went episode after episode after episode, not trying rye because Stephen Slow and I didn't like it.
Right.
Well, of course, we tried rye. It's always, the $5.95 fifth bottle
Yeah,
that Buck would bring to the
Buck's not gonna
show.
pay no more than $10 for a damn bottle.
Yeah. But Buck was a tight one when it comes to bourbon. He didn't care.
All right, so Bulleit is not a daily drink. It is for Rod, but overall for the show, it is
6.5, right. It is not. Just below.
Okay. All right, good deal.
Yep.
So how would
I'll
you
tell
rate
what,
your
if
Infinity?
I had to put a price point on my Infinity bottle and probably Slow Rides too, I would say the price of all that stuff that's in there, man, it's way up and probably close to $500 or $600.
Easily. Well, we have some Whistle Pig in this one here, and that was a $60 bottle, or $70 bottle.
So we'll just go ahead and say, due to the price point, it is not a daily drinker.
And I tell you too, this funny thing is the buzz, depending on where you're at, who you're with, and if you're able to pick up a glass or not, it's like 98% whiskey, 2% backwash.
Yep.
But anything
Might
ever
even have
proof will
Might
kill
even have some
anything.
real corn floating around in there,
Good, very possibly.
All right, so
Very
not daily
possible.
drinker. Good deal. Well, I'm gonna finish this off, and I'm gonna have, and I will comment later on my buzz as well.
And you buzz one. Nice.
All right, man. So we were just talking in a pre-podcast meeting, and we started talking about it came up how close. People always say cops are killing people. We kill very few people, and it's gonna sound funny, and I got to explain what I'm saying. Yeah, we kill less people than we do kill, of course, because of the amount of people we encounter. But the amount of times that we bring the force up to the point we're going to kill somebody and de-escalate the force. There's your word there, Captain.
There you go.
De-escalate. To where, and I always tell people, cops are violent. We are violent by nature. The difference between us and
Have to
bad
be.
guys is we can control our violence. Bad guys generally can't.
That's exactly right.
But we can bring a crap load of violence to the table when it needs to be brought to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can de-escalate too. And that's what the story's about tonight, right? We're going to talk about some almost shot a guy but didn't.
That's the Bulleit bourbon.
Yeah, next time.
Hey, it plays right in.
Plays right in.
Yep.
So go. So you want me to run? You want me to run with my little?
Yeah, man. Let's hear
We'll
let's
start
hear
back
some
in
of the
the
Charlotte
day.
Meg stories.
All right, it's a Charlotte Meck story. It was a cold night. No, okay. So I'm on regular basic patrol back when I was an officer. So this is 95 to 2005, somewhere in there. And that's perfect. Perfect.
Got
man.
that. I got that one.
Fine.
So out on patrol, just listening to the radio, and I hear a cabbie got carjacked up the road in an area around Central Avenue in Charlotte. So one arm with a shotgun, one arm with a pistol, two black males, blah, 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 pistol whipped, all this stuff. And they took his cab number 924. And I said,
Isn't it funny how you remember that?
yeah. I said, okay, so my first thing was, okay, they took the cab. Why'd they take the cab? Several reasons. One, they needed a ride home. Some people just carjack people for a ride home, others to do other robberies and so forth. But I just tried to take a guess on where I thought they would end up going. And I guessed these apartments down off of Siegel Avenue. So I just took a guess.
Yeah,
And I
that's
drove-
excellent police work. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
well, I knew my area. I was actually real in tune with things. So, went down there to Siegel Avenue. It was a horseshoe-shaped apartment complex. You pull in, and to the left there's buildings, to the right, and then there's one in front of you. So it's like a U. So I'm pulling through past it a little bit. And I'm just kind of slow rolling, lights off, and I see a cab backing into a spot, and lo and behold, 924. So right away, the hair on your neck goes up, and you're like, "Wow, I actually found him." So got on the radio, "Hey, got that cab down here at Siegel Avenue," gave the address. And then they saw me, and I pulled in, and they ran from the cab, one with a shotgun, long gun, and one with a pistol, into an apartment. But the way they ran into the apartment and entered, it didn't really seem like it was their house. So I ran around back, and sure enough, they just came busting out the back door. They just made a home invasion. They just went into somebody's apartment and ran straight through it out the back. And they were heading towards the fence line, which surrounded the apartment.
Now, you by yourself at this point, or what? One
still
man
by
car?
myself, yeah, still by myself, yeah. I was really reckless sometimes, just doing things I probably maybe
sometimes
shouldn't do, but
the call dictates it,
Yeah, well, he's running through people's houses armed. I mean, that's my job to protect people. So anyway, so I went through the house, no shots fired, and they came out the back. And a guy with the shotgun hit the fence and threw the shotgun over and got over the fence before I got there. A second guy got up to the fence, and I was going to get him. I knew I'd get him if I closed the distance, he could turn around and shoot me. But if I didn't close the distance, he can go over the fence. I really didn't have call to shoot him or stop him, and he might get away. So I chose to go up to the fence, grab him by the back of his pants, and pull him off onto the ground. Then I just backed up a few steps and drew down on him. And I said, "Let me see your hands." Blah, blah, blah. Gave him all the commands. And he just looked up on me. He just looked at me like he didn't have a care in the world. / he just detested me and hated me. He just looked at me like he didn't care what anything I had to say. He didn't care about the 40 caliber Smith & Wesson pointed at him. At that time was that old brick, the 40-46. I don't know if you remember those big, heavy metal. Yeah. Everything was metal. There was no alloy. Yeah. And he took his hand, if you could picture it, and he started to reach behind his back for a gun. And I said, and I looked at him just like that. If you're on YouTube watching this now, and I went, "Are you crazy? I'll kill you." And he just kept reaching behind his back. I started literally to pull the trigger, 2, 3, 4 pounds. He pulls out a gun and throws it over the fence. Just kind of tossed it over the fence. I had to let off the trigger. Like any little pressure back, bullet would have been away. Like I had to let off.
Milliseconds.
I'm talking another pound and he's dead. He's got a hollow point in his ass. So I let off. I holstered, and then I cuffed him up and I said, "Are you effing crazy?" I said, "I almost shot you." He went, "F you." He just looked at me. He's "F you." And called me some names and all this other stuff. And I'm like, geez.
Didn't make him just give him a hug.
Then I find out he's 15.
Oh, man.
And he's 6'1", about 185, 190 pounds. And he's 15.
That's
so
crazy.
So then,
you off too.
Oh yeah. So then I have him, and I hear my boys coming, sirens coming, and at that time, someone in that apartment complex got wind of it, I guess. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, there's 20, 25 people out there, and I'm like, oh, everything's okay now. No, they were mad at me. Why are you messing with that young man? Leave him alone. And they started to surround me to the point where I had to pull him, get him down on his knees, and I had my my hand on my weapon. I said, just stay back, folks. Just stay back. And they were just wondering why I was messing with this kid who just carjacked a cab. He ran through someone's house, home invaded him with a gun, and yet here I am. I'm the bad guy. Yeah. So my buddies came, and I told my one buddy, first things first, I go around that fence and secure that damn gun. I don't want it going anywhere, because that's my card right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of how it went. But 15 years old, carjacking, doesn't care that he almost died. Like he came so close. That was the closest I ever came to pulling the trigger on somebody. And I mean, I'm talking, I had to pull, dude. I felt the hammer going back. Dude, it was about to go away. I was thinking about everything. I was like, holy shit, here we go. It's going to be a long night,
Oh, yeah.
But,
I'm telling you.
yeah. And the gun he threw over the fence was fully loaded with one in the pipe.
Wow.
So,
we call that
the guy's first go around, or probably not.
No, this wasn't the guy's first go around since he was 12, 13. But he had juvie record, of course. Yeah.
And a lot of gang members, and Charlotte was full of them, well, I'm sure they still are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'd give the juvies most time the guns and stuff because they know they don't do as much time as the adults would do.
Right, and they can still rob people and get money and bring it back to them.
Oh yeah, bring it back to the gang. You're exactly right. Yeah, I tell you, that's called an almost DRT.
Dead right there.
Dead right there. DRT.
DRT, dead right there.
Yeah, man. And the bad guy dictates all of it, and we always were reactive to their actions. We're always behind the A-ball.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, one time.
I tried to de-escalate that one, obviously. I said, you're done. Put your hands up, right? It's over. It's almost like game over, you're done.
Yeah.
Nah, he said game ain't over. I said, why'd you throw the gun over the fence? Why'd you throw the gun over the fence? What does that do? It's still yours. I ain't mine. So, I don't know.
People stupid. Thank goodness for stupid bad guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm on my way one time to a domestic, right smack in the middle of town. They give a call, subject with a gun, on Oakland Street. And I'm like, one block from it. So I disregard the domestic and said, told headquarters, I'll take care of this. And I pull up on the guy, and there he is sitting there. It looks like he's got a shotgun sitting there. And I remember vividly, he's right-handed. He's got it, holding it like almost like a soldier type thing up in the air here. And I pull up, and then of course I open up the door. I pull my weapon out, and I challenge him. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. He puts it down, and I have him step back, take 3 steps back from the gun. He's doing everything I'm telling him to do. And rookie mistake on my point. I should have just held him there till a backup got there. But I get out around my cover to go to him, and as I do, he goes for the gun. And I am, like you said, I am putting finger on the trigger. I go from ready to finger on the trigger, and I'm screaming at him, get back, and he stands back up. Long story short, I get him in the custody, get him handcuffed and stuff, and it's a BB gun. It's a BB rifle, and he's going to shoot a pellet rifle. He's going to shoot a guy that lives in that house, came out on the front porch because he owed him $10 with that pellet rifle.
Not only that, but what was he going to do to you? Take the pellet rifle and shoot you with it? Like,
yeah, it looked like a shotgun to me. It'd been justified homicide.
Sure.
Because I was close enough, even with my eyesight right now, I could put one,
sure.
center mass.
Sure. And what Slow was saying, when he was at the ready, you keep your finger along the rail until you're ready to pull the trigger. So when that guy started going for the gun, Slow put his finger in and then started squeezing.
Yeah, and right then, and I always tell people, I've never shot anybody in the line of duty. Most cops don't. Majority of cops don't shoot people. But at that point, I realized I can kill somebody because my mind, all I'm thinking is he's going to die. That's the only thing in my mind is he's going to die as I'm in the future. Could I live with it? I don't know, but I know that I could have shot him.
Good or bad, I could shoot somebody and I could live with it and sleep like a freaking baby. I don't know what that says about me, but if I do that, that means it had to be done. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I have no qualms about it. I don't know. Maybe it's 30 years of police, but I have no problems with it.
We're cops, and we're there for a purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
I got no issue.
I'll tell you my story like that is I was on a domestic. Me and another guy got dispatched to a domestic call, and I got there first. I should have waited, but I didn't. It's a good thing I didn't wait. But go in, the man and woman arguing. They was in the back bedroom. I could walk back there, and they're sitting there arguing with, I'm standing there and say, well, y'all hold on a minute. So I get them to kind of leave the bedroom because I don't know what's in the bedroom, just them and me. So we walk down the hallway and get to right at the kitchen. And the guy turns around, grabs a knife, a big butcher knife out of the sink, and turns around in an aggressive manner toward her and I. And, next thing you know, my gun is in my hand. I don't remember pulling my gun. I have no idea how it got there. It was just there. And so I'm telling the guy, put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. And he was just standing there looking at me like, yeah, whatever, dude. And I'm sitting there, and I said, man, put it down. I'm going to shoot you. Put it down. I'm going to kill you. Put it down. And so he just kind of starts, looks like he's getting a little bit more aggressive or agitated. So I start putting pressure on the trigger, and I know for a fact that guy saw the hammer coming back on my gun, and he threw the knife down and turned around and put his hands on the wall. And I said, man, you almost died. Mm-hmm. You almost died tonight for that stupidness like that. Mm-hmm. But so I hooked him up and took him in, charged with the appropriate charges.
Hooked him up.
And to this date, I am still waiting on my backup to get there. They never did show.
Never showed.
Never showed.
Damn.
So.
Well, I tell you, so I saw this whole other podcast. We need to talk about that for everything. I'm going to make a note about backup not showing up.
Yeah. So that's why I'm drinking bourbon tonight.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, people,
That's another
you know,
podcast.
people just don't really can't appreciate it when they're in those situations with police when they push us to that point, and how close they came to a colostomy bag for the rest of their lives, or wheelchair.
Oh man, you're thinking
or
positive,
or
yeah.
dead,
DRT,
or dead.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're trained to shoot center mass. Everybody knows that. Because in a shooting situation, hell, our skills go down from shooting 100 to shooting 40% because of the nervousness, the adrenaline. So we're taught to shoot center mass because that's the biggest part of the body and the part that'll stop
President Biden said we need to start shooting people in the leg.
Of course.
Leg.
He also said step off on your porch, just rack around and blow the shot and shoot a shotgun in the air, and that'll scare the robber off. Remember that one? Shooting in the city limits, that's not legal. But anyway, he's got a lot of great ideas.
That their actions dictate our reactions.
Exactly.
Oh, you're exactly right.
Exactly.
If you want to play a big
they
boys
just-
game, then just step up
Right.
to the
Be
big boy
prepared.
plate, and we will bring it to you.
And
Yeah,
then the
be
problem,
prepared.
right? And then the problem today is the public and the political class and the people in charge now don't understand that and don't want to. And every time that happens, we're the guys who get
They just
put
want
under
to
a
put their head
microscope.
in the sand. Is all they
Right,
want to do.
not the people who are doing the crime. I didn't wake up in the morning and say I'm going to chase a guy down on Siegel Avenue and almost kill him.
Right.
I didn't wake up and say that, but he woke up saying I'm going to go do a carjacking. I bet you he did,
yeah.
and he's rolling the dice. Well,
Well, I'll tell you, something
And
along those
home
same
invasion
lines.
and whatever else he did.
yeah, I charge him with everything, dude: robbery, burglary, carjacking, home invasion, assault with a deadly weapon, the whole nine.
Well, I'll tell you, I had worked third shift when I was on SWAT team. You like the hound dog?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hound dog's giving me a hard time every time on the podcast I say about SWAT team.
Yeah,
I'd
because he
worked
was a
third.
cheerleader. He's got an award for it.
Yes, sir, lazy SWAT cheerleader. Not just a cheerleader, a lazy SWAT cheerleader. That's a whole other story. Hey, we get an all call, man. And man, back then I was on the federal task force.
Who hadn't been on one of those?
Look at you.
And I had a take-home car. It was back when we didn't have take-home cars. That's how long ago it was. But it was we called it the Gray Ghost. It was a gray Camaro. Man, it was decked out with lights. It was really cool. Anyway, we get a call. There's a guy just right outside the city in the county, down off Davis Park. You remember this hound dog? An old fella. He's pissed off at the world. He lived on a corner lot. He's pissed off because the kids will cut through his yard to catch
Oh,
the
yeah.
school bus there on the
Yeah.
corner.
India. The girl's name is India.
Yeah. So he
Can't think of
He
her last
formulated a
name
plan. He put mattresses over all his windows. He put 5-gallon buckets of water in every room, thinking that if a SWAT team deploys gas, he picks this 5,000-degree canister up and put it in the water, it'd go out. He also cut a hole in the floor so he'd have an escape route.
now.
And
I was
he
out there
put
on that, Stu.
Yeah, he put his plan in action. One morning, the little girl gets up next door, cuts across his yard to catch a school bus. Boom, he drops her in the front yard. She's dead. DRT, he shoots her. Dad sees what's going on. He runs out there. Boom, drops Dad. Lady across the street hears what's going on. She comes to a full glass storm door. Looks out there. Boom, drops her inside her house through the storm door. County PD goes out there. They were SRT, Special Response Team. They didn't like being called SWAT. That's an whole other story. They get in a standoff, and eventually they call us from the city. So we come down there. We get the green light from our sniper. Gets the green light to take him out because he's not coming out. He won't communicate. And Dobbins is up on the roof of the church. You remember the hound dog? And he pops
yeah,
around at the chimney right beside Dobbins. Said, "Get him off the church. The next one is going to go through him." And he's shooting. Whatever he's shooting is that one of our cars responded. He shot. This is back when they had metal fenders. He shot through the quarter pounder, through the fender, and the bullet went into the pavement.
Yeah.
So he could have easily shot through the via that roof and got Dobbins.
Yeah. I could see Dobbins where I was at, and I saw him like crawl up to the top of the church, the A-frame. I heard the shot, and I saw Dobbins like scurrying back so he wouldn't get shot. So yeah, that was a wild day.
Mm.
Long story short, you can't get a shot off the guy. I've got a green light for the snipers. Can't get a shot off of. So they send a 3-man entry team that's going to go in, and that's Jack Price, Jeff Clark, and myself. So we go the back way through the wood stuff. And it was cool because it was right across the street. There's a big gully. We go right down that gully and stage right near the corner of his house. There's a fence, but right there near the corner of the house. So we sat there and formed another plan. We're ready to go, 3-man enter team, and they give us the green light to go in. And as soon as they give us the green light to go in, it's almost like he heard it. He comes out and gives up.
Yeah.
What was he shooting?
He had 3 or 4 weapons in there. One was something like a Weatherby type thing. It wasn't
a rifle? It must have been a rifle to hit those people.
Oh yeah, these were rifles he was shooting. Whatever it was, one was a monster.
And what was his interview like? What was his deal? Just because the kids were walking on his lawn?
Yeah, pissed off because kids cut across his lawn.
So why did he shoot the lady? Why did he shoot the lady across the street in her damn storm door?
She died. The little girl died, but we didn't know it the whole time we were there. These bodies are laying out in the yard. The dad lied. He lived. He's laying there alive. We had no idea. Had we known that would change the whole dynamics of what happened.
Oh, he lived. Okay, the lady across the street, did she live?
No, she died.
Well, why did he shoot her? Did he say any comment on that? It's curious. She wasn't on his lawn. She came up to her freaking door to hear gunshots.
Well,
it's just no rhyme or reason.
Once he's in custody, we go up, we take him in custody, hand him off to detectives. We go back and SWAT and debrief. Mm-hmm. Then detectives do their things, patrol, cleans up is always stuck cleaning up the mess and dealing with everything else too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go see the shrink too. They send you to shrink. Slow.
No, they never did.
Whenever we had officers involved shootings, they always send us to the doc. Hey, how you feeling about that?
Well, I tell you, man, we got so many stories to tell, but
very good.
I'm telling you, when they call the SBI in, the SBI has to be invited to come in and do investigation from the chief of police, and we always do that. We have an internal investigation, and the SBI comes in and does the investigation. So the officer's investigated by 2 different bureaus.
Right.
Bad guys investigated by 1.
Right.
But man, seriously, it is a book about this thick. They set that book down in front of you. They open it up, and they go from front to back. When's the last time how much sleep did you have? What are you doing this? How do you doing this? Do you work out? That sort of thing. Are you on medication? It goes on and on down to, when's the last time I had sex? It just goes on and on and on and on.
That's kind of personal.
Yeah, on the footnote to that story.
It's like I told one SBI agent. I'm sorry to cut you off, Hound Dog. When's the last time I had sex? I feel like I'm having it right now. I feel like I'm about to get screwed.
On a footnote to the story about the shooting, if I remember correctly, let me know if I'm wrong, but the highway patrol had their helicopter out there, and the guy was shooting at the helicopter.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
So he was
wow.
wacko. Now
so
I guess he's still in prison.
He had no care in the world. He was just firing away, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, we had formulated a plan of action to deal with that situation. I ain't gonna get any more detail than that. The 3 of us.
Well, that's what you got to do, man.
Yep.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I think it's over 30 years. I think of all the things just start coming to mind. You mentioned butcher knife in your story, Hound Dog. I got 3 of them now. You mentioned your SWAT call out. I got several of them now. I mean, it's
funny how it all comes flooding back, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Especially when you're working, you work an area like.
All right, guys.
I was fortunate enough, or unfortunate enough, to work in pretty busy areas within Charlotte, which people say, isn't Charlotte a busy area? Yeah, but not Valentine, But
right.
Yeah, I worked on the east side with Eastway Division, and I went Metro on the west side, and so I had about 20 years of pretty good stuff, I think that makes for a good supervisor too, someone who has actually done the job, done the work, and more than just tickets. You actually did the homicides and the robberies and stuff. But anyway, but yeah, just talking about this now just flooded back with like, wow, a lot of crazy shit. I mean, just insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll drink to that because we all came home and here we are retired.
You're right. Yeah.
Look at that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's number 1 right here. We'll give it a try.
Do it.
Nice legs.
So, one story that you may or may not have had dealings with that sticks out in your career, in your mind. What is one story that you will never forget, whether you was a primary officer or backup or whatever, or the captain in charge, sergeant in charge, or whatever? What's one story that you will never, ever forget? One case.
Who are you asking?
Me
You
first?
asking Rod and Nate or both of us?
Both of you. Both of you.
Go ahead, Rod, if you got something.
I got one. And this one I remember just for the shock value. For me, personally, the shock value. Mm-hmm. It was a domestic disturbance. I was a sergeant in the Metro Division, which is on the west side, Beatty's Ford Road and all that stuff. My guys were going to a domestic disturbance in one of our notorious apartment complex, Section 8 housing type stuff. And apparently there was an assault with a knife, and husband and wife were going at it, very loud, very violent, a repeat offender house. So they're going, so I rolled that way because I figured it'd be a use of force and I'd have to do something. So when I got there, my guys were coming back out the front door and said, he ran down the road, we're going to go after him. I said, okay, knock yourself out. And I said, where's the victim? He said, she's right behind us. And I guess they didn't realize it at first. They were just talking to her face to face. She comes out of the house, big, heavy set. Black female comes out of the house, and she's amped up. She's upset. The type of lady I think gave as good as she got. You know what I mean? She was an aggressive, and I think she could take care of herself. But the thing that threw me was I'm talking to her, and she's going, blah, 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 and that mother effer, blah, 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 and she walks down the steps and passes me. So now I'm about to see her walking towards the street, and I'm about to catch a glimpse of her back. And in her back was a 10-inch butcher knife buried in her back fat to the handle.
Stuck in her. Not like a belt, but actually stabbed in her.
No, it was stabbed. It was buried in her back at an angle, downward angle. So it didn't go in straight, if you can see my hand on YouTube. Yeah. Didn't go in straight. It went on a downward angle to the handle. And she's moving around, and her shoulder blade is moving that son of a bit. And I'm about to throw up. Like, I'm looking at this thing like, lady, whoa. And she's out of control. You know, talk about trying to de-escalate because you got a butcher knife in your back, and it's about to make me puke.
Man, but we need to get a handle on this.
Because it's, dude, that thing was, she's moving she's going in this son of a bit, and the thing's moving around, and I'm about to go, ma'am, just sit down. You got a knife in your back. And plain and say, and she didn't care. She finally got her to sit down. Medic came, you know, they wrap it. They don't pull it out right there. They wrap it and took it to the hospital. But the reason it sticks out in my head is because it was the shock value. Like, she was like, I didn't think there was anything wrong with her. It didn't look like she was hurt at all. And then she turns around, and I mean, a butcher knife, the kind that, you know, starts out like small and gets bigger in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was unbelievable. The shock value alone, I was like, Jesus.
So, Rod, you think she got the point?
Thank God for that back fat, boy, because I'll tell you what, no organs were hit. When she got out of the hospital, no organs were hit, nothing. It was straight in the fat meat. Yep.
Wow.
But about made me
that's what
sick.
it literally feels like when somebody stabs her in the back.
Yeah, she said, hell with exercise. I'm going to keep eating chicken wings and shit because, tell you what, it saved my life.
I tell you, we were raiding a place down in the projects, down on Shannon Bradley, and we could never find the dope. And kind of, it's a big fat lady that, you know, selling the dope. Uh-huh. Well, she had these huge giant boobs, and she was actually keeping the dope up underneath the boob. That's why we never found it till one day.
You went in and took one for the team and raised that giant boob.
I need like a floor jack and some pallets. Yeah,
a microwave fell out, a couple of dumbbells, and there was the dope.
Yeah. We had a female officer with that one particular time and done a strip search over and found it. Ugh.
Oh, you just triggered another memory. I got another story.
Of college days.
No, you said one of my stories that stick out of my mind that I'll probably never forget is I went on had a stabbing call up there off. If anybody knows anything about Gastonia, North York is called the Block. Everybody always called it the Block. And we're up there and get to the house. I'm probably about the third guy there, and the guy's laying on the front porch of the house. And he had, it was like a steak knife. It wasn't a butcher knife, it wasn't one of these big crazy things like Rod was describing. It was like a regular, cheap steak knife. And it was stuck in his chest. I'm sitting there thinking, now that kind of looks weird. Just laying there with this steak knife stuck out of his chest. And I can remember sitting there watching the knife. It was moving with his heartbeat.
Was it in his heart?
Well, obviously it was. Because it was moving like this, and then all of a sudden it just...
Rod, we're not heartologists, so we don't know.
No, I didn't know. I was wondering because it's still beating with a knife in it. The heart's amazing.
It's still beating. Then it slowly stopped.
Wow.
Stopped beating. And, of course, he expired. And it was just weird for me sitting there watching, this guy taking his last, couple breaths with this steak knife sticking out of his heart. And just
Jumping
watching
around.
just watching it slowly stopping.
Wow.
So that's one of those things that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just wild. Just little things you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, for me, a couple things stands out. And I told this story before, and I don't know why it stands out so. We're fighting this guy, and you're gonna remember because I told you. But he has a 55-gallon aquarium, and we're bouncing off this thing, and he hit me so hard. Seriously, I am seeing friggin' stars. I am loopy. I'm about out. And then, man, he cold cocks me again. He brought me right back. I'm like 100% again. Unbelievable. Like, he brought me the second hit. He brought me back.
He knocked you out, then he brought you back.
Oh, brought me back in, man. It's like, no, I'm 100% back in the fight again. There's a couple of us fighting this old boy, and he liked to whoop a couple of us, and we never did turn that aquarium over. I don't know how that didn't happen.
Wow.
But yeah, man, he hit me so hard one time, and I'm about out, and then he brought me back with the next hit.
I got another one. I was on a. We got time for another one. I was on another domestic dispute, and so you guys ever have naked people you deal with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey,
so
Rod Nader, I'm naked from the waist down right now.
Not personally.
Hey,
I'm
so
talking
am I.
about on the job. You dirty bastard.
It's like working from home, man. You just put on a dress shirt. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, just a shirt. That's all. Unless we scroll down, So we go on a call and we get in. And a lady says he's out of control. It was an older lady. Back then when I was in my 20s, she was probably in her 50s, 60s. And,
Rod, I'm sorry to cut you off. I made Reggie take another drink. I'm sorry, Reggie.
Yeah,
Paint that picture. Go ahead, Rod.
There you go. And the lady said, he's out of control. He's in there raising hell. We walk in and there's this 50-something, 60-year-old guy butt naked. And right when I don't know if you guys, but when you see that, you're like, oh, hell. Because the first thing you're thinking, folks, is I hope I don't have to touch him. And I hope none of my... I love the soundboard.
Good.
I hope I don't have to touch him. And more importantly, I hope none of my arms or legs or anything grazes his balls or his penis. So that's the one thing.
How tall was this guy that your arm or shoulders?
I'm just saying, if you're going to tackle somebody and stuff starts flailing around, I just didn't want. I don't want to go there. I just really want them to be cooperative.
Especially in the summer. Not that they're naked, but like their shirts off and they're sweaty, man. They're so hard to hang on to.
God. He was a mess. This guy was a mess, and he was naked. And so I'm like, I looked at my partner, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. He goes, I'll take lead. I'm like, all right. So I'm kind of like off to the side, and this guy, he says, my buddy says, hey, blah, 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 blah. And we start talking to him. He goes, well, you got to go to jail, so we got to get some clothes on. He goes, I ain't going no goddamn where. And I looked at that. I said, this is not going to go good. He goes, I got this. And he goes, yeah, you are. And he says, you're going to come with us one way or another, and we'll take you down there naked if you want, but we prefer not to. So he said, I'll tell you something. And he stood up off the couch, and he took a step towards my partner. And my partner throat punched him with the web of his fingers right here. Like,
yeah,
that's like
throat
Bruce
punched
Lee,
him.
man.
He stood for a second, did one of these, fell straight back and slammed his head on the windowsill and knocked himself out. So now we got big fat naked guy knocked out on the couch. So while he's knocked out, we had mom, his wife, throw some pants on him, throw his shirt on. Smacked him in the face a little bit. Hey, wake up, wake up. He woke up. We took his ass to jail.
Oh, Well, there you go.
How the hell did I get in this car? No, don't worry about it, pal. It all worked out.
Yeah, hey, wasn't I naked?
And then in the car, the famous quote down jail was, he's talking to the jailers who were patting him down. He goes, "That guy knocked my goddamn ass out."
With the Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah, he did knock your damn ass out. That was a funny one. He felt like a tree, like one of those stiff-legged ones.
Like
Right back on the
somebody gets
couch.
tased. Is that how you feel?
Oh yeah, just
You know,
like
when
yeah,
somebody
like
gets
stiffened
tased,
up,
they just- Yeah.
like he got rigor
That's
mortis
funny.
already, and he ain't dead. Yeah.
Oh shit! I got a cramp.
That was a good one.
Hey, Hound Dog's got a cramp. Everybody laugh at Hound Dog.
Oh god.
Hydrate.
I'm trying.
You all right there?
Oh man.
We could fill some air if you need to stand up for a second.
Yeah, it's rough getting old there, isn't it, buddy? Right there.
It
Hey,
is.
you're on YouTube. Everybody witnessing this.
Oh man.
Are they menstrual cramps? What kind of cramps are we talking here?
Oh, that's my leg. My leg.
Oh, your leg.
I
Okay.
did a lot of yard work today.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
don't
stay
get me
hydrated.
started on yard work.
Yeah, it was 91 today. The real feel was 112.
Jesus.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate to break the news to you. 72 degrees here today.
Oh yeah, you got it rough.
Yeah.
I am. I'm working out. I am working in the yard one day, and it's hard to get things done down by it's a dirt road, but people on their ATVs come by and they'll stop and talk for 20 minutes.
That's
And
mountain
one guy
life.
says, "Man, you gotta be careful, man. This heat wave, you gotta be careful. You don't ever do it." It was like 75 degrees.
Yeah.
God, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what heat is.
Yeah, not putting a timestamp on us, but it's getting down to 57 degrees here tonight.
Wow. When I had my
About time to build a fire.
motorcycle trip across the country, New Mexico, 117
Whew.
was the highest.
How
Oh
was
we
it?
had.
man,
humidity.
that's like a blowtorch blowing on you. When you're going down the road, that's
Plus
like
you're on a
blowtorch.
300-degree motorcycle with the
Oh yeah, and the
117
pavement
degrees,
coming, the heat
with the
from
sun,
pavement.
with the pavement.
That was a humidity on that trip.
It wasn't. I wasn't high, but it was just the heat. I had a guy. I had a bigger guy.
And of course,
with
you're
me.
hungover.
Of course, and dehydrated. But I had a bigger guy with me with a shaved head. He was as red as a stop sign. I said, "Dude, we got to stop. You're about to stroke out. You don't even know it." I mean, he was. We found a gas station with a walk-in cooler with the beer. You know,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
got
yeah,
our
the
we
beer
got our
cave.
stuff. Yeah, we got our stuff at the cashier. Turned right around, went back into the store into the beer cave, and we were eating all the snacks and stuff we got from the thing. And
Little
the
lounge
lady,
chair sitting up in there.
yeah, the lady comes in and looks at us. I go, "Ma'am," and she goes, "Don't worry, honey. It's very nice lady. Don't worry, honey. You stay in there as long as you need."
And then I like
"Thank
the
God."
girl's voice. Do the girl's voice again. I like
I
that.
will not. I will not.
Come on, Rod.
I will not entertain.
Hey, Rod Nader, use that girl voice. Talk sexy while I'm drinking a little drink here.
Yeah, I'm taking a little
Hey,
drink.
you ready?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
With the creaminess. Yeah, did you catch that creaminess?
I'm telling you, I like this. I like this Buzz One a lot better than the Bulleit. This is very mild.
Is it?
You think it's a
Real
low
dry,
rye?
though. Yeah, definitely low rye on what I'm drinking here. It's feels like about 100 proof, 90 proof, but it's really dry though, man. As soon as you get that out of your mouth, it's just dry. Your mouth dries right up.
Yeah.
Nice.
You said yours
Still
was the
keep-
opposite. Did you say that, Hound Dog?
Yeah, mine was, wasn't dry at all. So, are you still keeping up with what all goes in there, or are you putting anything in it lately, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I have. I've been the normal. Now, if one time I was drinking the Knob Creek Smoked Maple, I did not put that in there.
Yeah, you
Anything
don't
flavored, I
put
do not
flavored.
put in there.
Yeah, don't put flavored in there. So, when you got Buzz 3 going on, Rod, it's best not to put anything flavored in it.
I'll do it. It's gonna so in other words, it's about 1.5 ounces of whatever you're drinking, and you just let it build
Yep.
until it
and
gets
see,
up. and then
the
there.
thing about it is,
So it'll
you
take a
have to
while
buy-
to get up there, but yeah.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
have to buy
it will.
2 mini bottles now. Because we're talking about doing mini bottles, all those buying. So we're in 3 different locations. We drink the same thing without spending $50 a week on booze.
Right, because we're not in
Yeah.
the same room anymore. Right.
Yeah. So
Where
you
we
have
could
to keep
we
drinking
could
the
buy
same
one bottle. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that way you buy 2 and you drink one and put one in the infinity bottle.
What bottle? What kind of bottles did you guys decide to use? Did you just use old empties from some other bourbon? Is that what
Yeah,
you did?
I think Steve's got the, what's that one you got, Steve?
Square.
Yeah, Squares from
Well,
Washington
rectangular.
State.
Oh, okay.
WW
Uh,
Company.
Got a cork in it too, huh? Nice.
Oh, man, what is the name of that?
Woodinville.
Woodenville, yeah. And
Woodinville Whiskey Company. Established in 2010.
Mine is a Boone's bourbon bottle.
Oh,
Hey, you
Boone's
remember
Bourbon.
that? You remember correct there, Hound Dog. It
Nice.
is made in Washington
Yeah.
State.
And Boone's Bourbon is what we try to get people to buy and support
Yeah,
on the
Yeah,
absolutely.
show.
you
man.
got to drink Boone's.
Boone's
Drink it.
Bourbon.
If you don't
Hound
have
Dog,
it
can
in
you-
your liquor store, ask them to get it for you.
Yeah, can you
right.
get that down there where you're at, Hound Dog?
Oh yeah, every day.
I'm going to look for it tomorrow, but I've yet to find it.
You won't find it.
We'll
I
find
can't
it.
find it up here.
No, I have to get it and send you a bottle.
What's the deal with it? Why is it so isolated to your area? Is it that's where they make it or something? Or?
Well, it is a South Carolina bourbon for one,
oh, South
and I
Carolina.
am about 2,000 feet from the South Carolina
So
line.
you go into South
Right.
Carolina to get it. Is that right, Hound Dog?
I do, yeah.
See,
It's
North
not-
Carolina is screwy way it does. A lot of these distilleries don't want to pay your sales tax.
All right.
North Carolina requires them to pay their tax on their whiskey they're sending them, and a lot of times North Carolina can't get some whiskeys that other states will.
Right. And they say that this is a special order item from in North Carolina, but I think we tried to get it as a special order at the ABC store when we worked there, and it just some reason it just never did happen. They
It's a
asked for
high
it.
rye. And what
It is a high
Hound
rye.
Dog,
It's a-
we went down to the distillery and done a podcast there with one of the owners.
Yeah, we did. Mick
Excellent people. Yeah. Excellent people, man. They treated us first class, gave us a tour of the whole place, gave us a signed bottle, man. But and we told them up front. They said, we're going to drink my bourbon on the podcast. And we said, okay, listen, here's the deal. We don't pull punches. If it sucks, we're going to tell you right here with you sitting here with us, it sucks.
You're going to get a
Yeah.
fucking 2. Oh,
Yeah. You can say 2. 2's all right. You can say 2.
thank you. I'll get 2 with a U.
But, man, what we get, like a 9, Hound Dog?
Yeah, we
it
got
was
like
up
a-
there. It was
yeah,
already.
9,
It was
way up
excellent.
there.
And that'd be a
nice.
daily drink. I'd keep a bottle here if I could find a bottle.
And that's with him knowing, like Slow Ride said, if it sucked, we was going to tell him
Oh, yeah.
it sucks.
He was 100% confident that it would not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he was
right.
right.
Good. Good.
Drink
Yeah, good.
Boone's bourbon.
Yeah, Boone's Bourbon.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in North Carolina, but you go to South Carolina to get it, right? You're like right on the border, you said? Hound
I
Dog?
am.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm not as close to the state line as Hound Dog, but, I'm about 40, 45 minutes from being downtown Johnson City, Tennessee. And they have a lot
okay.
of things. It's not a controlled state. They can get about anything they want.
Right.
I can't find it there either.
Huh.
Have you asked him about it?
I have asked him if they get them and to know there's no one's gotten it so far.
Hmm.
So there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Drink Boone's bourbon. Almost like we own stock in the company, huh, Hound Dog?
Almost like it, huh?
It's almost like you're getting paid or something slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. We better round down. I got one more story, and it's kind of funny. You have to know the guys for it to be funny. But everybody that listens to this podcast knows about Jeff Wooten, Detective Jeff Wooten. 2 quick
Right.
stories. One is, for a whole nother thing, is working off duty. Wooten's working off duty. He calls 10-8, means he's out of service. He's through with his first off-duty gig, but he's going to work another one later that night. He's in uniform. He goes from off-duty A by the, QT,
Quick Trip.
the convenience store right beside the police department, Quick Trip, to get a cup of coffee before he goes to his next gig. Now, I'm working off duty at the projects, and they get confused there for a minute because Wooten ended up shooting the bad guy. But he's off duty. He's off duty. They don't know he's there. They don't know he's not on the CAD system anywhere. Computer assisted dispatch. He's not on that at all. So the low number given out, they thought, well, it must have been covered. So everybody's checking on me. It's not me. But anyway, it's funny because he had to shoot a bad guy. He's totally justified shooting a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he done everything that he needed to do to save the clerk's life. But a guy comes in, walks past him, acknowledges him sitting there in uniform, goes inside, starts stabbing the clerk. Wooten hears the commotion, coffee in hand. He goes in there and he kind of hollers at the guy to stop. He won't stop. Takes a swig of his coffee, sets it down on the counter, and goes there and shoots the piss out of the guy.
No shit.
Yep.
No, he doesn't remember drinking that coffee at all. Doesn't remember setting it down. Doesn't remember anything about drinking that coffee whatsoever. It's just don't commit a crime in QT because I got 40,000 cameras and they have every camera angle in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the best place
Absolutely.
for cops if you're going to commit a crime because you're on tons of video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son worked there. He was a manager there for a minute, and he said everything's recorded. Everything.
Oh,
Registers, the whole nine, everything.
Well, I told you that story too. This one. We're working off duty at a nightclub downtown. Jeff Wooten, Marty Smith, and myself. We stopped 2 cars, both for loud music. Jeff Wooten stops car 1, I stop car 2. Marty's kind of in the middle. And my guy, both guys ended up having guns. My guy get to the window. He's got the gun in his hand, and I promise you, when we got to the mayor's office, still had the imprint of the front of my sights and stuff on his temple, where I slammed his head. And I'm shooting. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm shooting. He drops the gun. We get to the mayor's office, and that's what we back up. It's funny because Marty Smith don't know what to do. I'm screaming at this guy. Wooten screaming at his guy. Marty Smith, he's like a ping pong ball running back and forth, back with his gun out. Don't know what to do because there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get my guy to the mayor's office, and I believe him. He's telling me, he says, officer, you got to the car so quick. It surprised me. I was just putting my gun on the dash. It was in the seat. I was putting it on the dash so you would see it. And I really believe him. I almost killed him because he thought he was doing right.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, guys.
Are we
Just
ending
never
on
know.
that note? Is this
You know,
coming to the end of the show?
No, we got to let's go back and visit the Bourbon right quick.
That's
one
it.
more thing.
We do.
So the Bulleit was not a day drinker, but it was for you, Rod, right?
It's okay.
You like
Yeah,
that.
I gave it a 7.
You may be a rye guy.
Yeah, I gave it a 7. You gave it a 6, and it's a 6.5. It's just a little outside the daily drinker, but yeah. And then Hound Dog, how'd you do with yours? You, of course, love it, but we couldn't be a daily drinker because it's a $500
I give it a 9.
bottle.
I give it a 9.
And it's a one-of-a-kind bottle. There's no two.
definitely.
There'll never be no two Infinity bottles alike.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
That's true.
It's an original every time.
It is.
I'd like to say special thanks to our partners, Black Rival Training Group. Great bunch of guys down there in Gaston. Well, I think they're actually in Cleveland County. But they're right there in Gaston County, Cleveland County. Go see those guys, man. If you got any type of training whatsoever, those guys are top notch. They can take care of you. Law Enforcement Today at lawenforcementtoday.com. And, of course, Hound Dog, Boone's Bourbon. Drink Boone's Bourbon.
Boone's Bourbon.
Any last words?
Great show. Enjoyed it, man. I like the stories, guys.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good,
Yeah, man.
good show.
It's actually almost like a cop show tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cop show. Not a bourbon show. It was a cop show.
Yeah. We ain't done that in a while.
3 cups
Yeah.
of drinking bourbon, so we're good with that.
Hey, you too. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We appreciate any people subscribing, hitting the like button. Even if you don't like us, hit the like button. Come on, we need the love.
We need it.
But up there, I think it should
Please,
be
we
down
need
below
it.
us, below the pictures.
Down there.
Let's
Down
below the
there.
video.
Down there.
All right, and if you're listening in on the radio side and just the audio end of it, we have a donation button. If you go to Bourbon and Badges on all of our audio, you can see a donation button. Please hit that and donate to the cause, man. We appreciate this. Liquor's not cheap. Production's not cheap. Look at these guys. These are high-end guys. Look at them. The 2 guys I deal with, man. They don't get that pretty being inexpensive. You can email us at bourbonandbadges@yahoo.com and find us anywhere, Facebook, Twitter. We're everywhere out there. I covered everything, guys?
You did. Did a great job.
He was talking a little fast there, slow.
All right.
I think that's Queenie.
What are we going to do, Hound Dog? Drink it over? What are we doing?
Yeah, let's drink about it and drink responsibly.
This has been a Studio 77 production. Guys, we appreciate it, and guys, appreciate y'all listening in.